Very good morning to my dear students and welcome to our social science class. So today we are going to recapitulate about our chapter, that is diversity and discrimination, as we have completed this chapter. So today we are going to go for the summary of the chapter, whatever we learned from the first until the last. So the chapter is about diversity and discrimination. We already know what is diversity, and in this chapter we'll know how diversity can also lead to discrimination with the help of certain new topics like prejudice and stereotypes, and also the categories who are being discriminated against. So first of all, the topics that we covered in this chapter are diversity. Let us know what is diversity. So diversity is something which is which varies. All right. For example, we came to know about eight major religion in India. We came to know about India consists of more than 1600 languages and also more than 100 dance forms. So you can see in the picture that how India looks. India is a diversified country with different languages, practicing of different religions, and also in culture wise we have got different dance forms. Okay, around 100 dance forms we have from each and every state, and also from our state we have got sub communities who are also having different types of dances, like in Assam. Bihu is famous for Assamese community. It's our folk dance. Okay. And after that we came to know about prejudice. So prejudice is something which is known as when someone judges another person negative way. It is called prejudice. So examples of prejudice may be city people are cunning and money minded. So prejudice is a thought, it's a thinking about another person or a community in a negative manner. For example, the rural people may think of urban people like city people are cunning and money minded. When we judge people or when we judge person in a negative way, it is known as prejudice. Okay. So stereotypes are when we tend to see something person into predefined image is called making of stereotypes. So stereotype is something where we actually believe or we trust on the preconceived or predefined image. Okay, so maybe we don't know the real thing what happened with that person, but because of we heard from someone that this person is very rude, we start believing that person, and hence we start to stereotype that person in a negative way. Okay. Now, how does stereotypes affects us? It stops us looking each individual as a unique person. It prevents us from doing certain things that we might be good at. So basically, stereotypes can lead to two drawbacks. First of all, when we create stereotypes upon someone, we forget to look them as an individual, rather we look them as a group. For example, a person is bad from a particular community, so we will blame the particular entire community, but the entire community didn't harm us or didn't do anything bad to us. But what happened if one person has done something bad, then we start to actually blame the entire community, and we don't see other persons as individual, rather we see them as a group doing the same thing, even though they haven't done with anything with us, only that one person did with us, but still we tend to generalize, and it prevents us from doing certain things that we might be good at. So maybe what happened, we may help someone and we may like to help someone, but what happened because of certain things which goes in our mind that no, this particular community is very bad, very rude, very harmful, so we stop helping them. So such kind of things may happen when we stereotype people. Okay. Next, we learned about discrimination in the chapter. So, discrimination means to treat a person in an unfair way. See, prejudice, stereotypes are the things which are basically from thinking process. Okay, these are the thoughts. but discrimination are when we put our thoughts into action, when we actually start discriminating people on the basis of our stereotypical behavior or the prejudice which was created in our mind. Okay, so discrimination means to treat a person in an unfair way. So reasons that can lead to discrimination. First of all, it's diversity, and second one is economic background. Diversity means a group of people who speak different language, follow different religion, etc. may be discriminated. Maybe for example, we are living in a community where everyone is Assamese or everyone belongs from Assamese community and speak Assamese language. But one of the family does not is from another state or maybe from another place who does not speak same language like us, or they are professing different religion. So what happened? We might start discriminating them because of their indifference and the differences in their religion and language. It can happen. So this is how discrimination can also lead to diversity can also lead to discrimination. All right, and next is economic background, which is the another reasons for discrimination. Poor people do not have money to meet their basic needs. So basically what happened, because of the economic background, because they are poor and someone is rich, what happened, they don't see them as to be treated equally. They see them as the inferior group of the society, hence they started treating them in a discriminated manner by not giving them ample amount of opportunities. Okay, even though they are qualified enough sometime, but what happened, because of the economic background, sometimes they are not able to meet their basic needs, right? Roti, kapra, makan, such kind. So when they are not able, when they belong from such group, we tend to discriminate them being as a rich and poor. Okay. So one of the major reason of discrimination is also because of the caste system. Now caste system, you already know what is caste system, where in Hinduism, or we have got four castes. These are known as, you can see, yeah, Brahmins. Brahmins belong to the highest caste. They are priests and scholars. Then Kshatriya are soldiers and warriors. Vaishyas are merchants and professionals, and Sudras are the lower caste. They are laborers and servants. So basically, in Hinduism, we have this four caste system or the Varna system, which is divided based upon the upper caste and the lower caste and the middle, whoever is there. So there are four important castes: Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Sudras. And Sudra are regarded as the lowest caste. So those who were placed at the bottom of the ladder were called the lower caste or untouchable. So basically we try to segregate or discriminate this group of people, okay? Untouchables, who are known as the lower caste, and in the ladder you saw the hierarchy. So in the hierarchy they are at the lower position. So these are the people who are mostly discriminated, and they are considered to be the untouchables from the other for three castes. So first of all, what are the conditions, or what are the consequences they had to face? What are the behavior they had to face from other people? First of all, they were found to do cleaning work. They are only asked to do the dirty jobs like cleaning, washing, and being someone else's home servant. Such kind of work are being asked to do by the lower caste or the untouchables. They were not allowed to enter temples and home of upper caste. So basically they are considered as the unpure and unworthy people who do dirty jobs. That is why they are not allowed to enter temples and also in the houses of the upper caste. For example, a Sudra person cannot enter the house of Vaishyas, Kshatriyas or Brahmins, basically the Brahmins. And thirdly, they cannot take water from the village well. So basically they are located, or they build their houses outside of the village, because as of they are not allowed to enter into the village where upper caste are living, and they are not allowed to use the public properties which are used by the other castes. And number 4, their children cannot sit next to children of the upper caste in school. As I've told you in the earlier earlier videos that children of the untouchables are not allowed to sit together with the children of the upper caste in school. They had to sit back, or they have to sit outside of the class and then study. Okay, so these are the discrimination which were faced by the untouchables or the lower caste. Then what does constitution say with regard to equality? Although we know that we have a constitution which are the where documents are being written to so that the country functions very well. All right. Some of the important things about written in the constitution are in the document are all person are equal before law. So it be Sudra, may it be Vaishyas, may it be Kshatriya or Brahmans, everyone is equal before law. If Brahman has done any crime, he will get the same amount of punishment. Even Sudras have done, if the Sudra has done any of the crime, he also will get the same level of punishment. There is no discrimination on the basis of law for any caste or class. This everyone is equal before the law. No discrimination on the basis of color, gender, religion and caste. So no one can be discriminated on the basis of skin color. If someone is black, if someone is white, both of them has to be treated equally. If someone is girl, if someone is boy, both of the gender has to be treated equally. If someone is professing different religion, they also have to be treated equally. And caste, if someone is from lower caste or upper caste, that it does not matter, but everyone has needed to be treated and given respect equally in a constitution. And the third, it states that untouchability has been abolished. So these are the three important things which are documented or being written in the constitution to enhance equality among all the members or all the citizens of the country, may it be Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Shudras or Vaishyas. Okay. Then who is considered the father of the Indian Constitution? As of already we have studied, Bhimrao Ambedkar was the member of the drafting committee, and he was known as the father of the Constitution, who did immense work to to actually improve the lifestyle of the untouchables. Even he also belonged from a lower caste family which is known as Mahars, and even when he was in his childhood, he also faced some kind of caste based discrimination. So he was only the first person from his community who did education, who completed his higher education and went to England for his laws, to study laws. So that is how he came back to India. He did many job, many intense work, and many many movements were carried out to improve the lifestyle, and also so that the Mahar community along with the other untouchables could get the equal amount of respect by everyone. And what he did is that he encouraged Dalits to send their children to school. He started temple entry movement. So these were the things which were done by Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. So students, so we came to know about this chapter, and this chapter taught us about how diversity can lead to discrimination, how the thoughts in our mind can lead to the discrimination, and also just because we hear something from someone, we start believing that, and hence we start discriminating that community. And there are many laws which are created by the constitution to serve equality to every citizen of the country. So we learned about this chapter about our equality, discrimination, and the people who are mostly discriminated against others, right? So we also came to know about Bhimrao Ambedkar, who started temple entry movement. He encouraged Dalits to send their children to school so that their status can be improved, their lifestyle can be improved, and they can get equal amount of respect by everyone. So students, thank you for your cooperation, for your attention in completion of our chapter. And tomorrow I'll give you the question answers of the chapter, and from next week we are going to start with history. So thank you, have a nice day, and God bless you.